Hey everybody, welcome to another episode. I'm Rob.
I'm Caleb.
And I'm Andi.
And this is
Everybody in the Conference Room.
That's right. Guys, as always, thank you for listening. Make sure you subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes. Make sure you tell a friend. It's one of the best, most tangible ways to spread the word. We really appreciate it. It helps out a ton. And come check us out on Patreon.
Yeah. Come swing by.
Patreon.com/anofficepod. $3 a month gets you access to the after party at Poor Richard's tonight in honor of Martin.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're going to be talking about our own run-ins with the law.
Come on.
Some better than others.
I'll tell you what. Don't get caught.
I'll tell you something. Andi Lambert is wanted on a federal level. You
all know that's true.
Tonight.
Come listen. No.
So go over to Poor
There
Richards
is
and check
nobody
that
is surprised about that.
Oh my gosh. Some of us are wanted on a federal level.
Sure.
And then some of us are
Some of
not.
us cry. Some of us cry.
Some of us cry.
Use nepotism to get out of things.
That's right, exactly. That's
Y'all know I can run, and y'all know Rob cries.
I can neither confirm nor deny that allegation. Anyways, so come check us out on Patreon. And speaking of patrons, I want to say two things. Number one, I want to say welcome to our newest $3 patron.
Let's go.
Mr. Ivan West.
Ivan.
Ow, ow.
I don't know if you're listening, but if you are, good to have you, my friend. And also we want to say thanks, of course, to our assistant to the regional manager. We're talking about our $20 patron, Mr. Brian Cavazos.
Cavazos. Coming in from the top rope.
Love you, brother.
Oh my, coming in from the top rope. I love that. That's like, this episode's brought to you by Brian Cavazos.
Way to go.
Sexy beast.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
That's good. So tonight we're going to break down Season 3, Episode 9, The Convict, which I have to be so honest with you. I forgot how good this episode is.
This is the iconic episode of the series for me. This episode of The Office is equivalent to like the Super Bowl.
Oh, baby.
This is the one. I think this is the most well known.
Big
the most
day
referenced.
for Caleb. Like, we
I
didn't
have,
even bake you cookies or something. This is a big day for you.
This is a big one.
Oh, look, I got you that trophy. Here, hold on to that.
Yes.
There it is.
That Dundies.
Thank you, ladies
Here, I'm
and
going to
gentlemen.
take a picture of
Thank
you with that.
Yeah, you'll see that on our
that's
Instagram.
For your big day.
Number one.
Number one.
Number
Hold
one.
it up. Hold up that number one.
Small
There we
little
go.
thing.
Gosh.
We got this.
Number one.
We're going to break down Season 3, Episode 9, The Convict. We're also going to head over to Dunder Mifflin, the subreddit, and look at some great quality content there.
Hold on, can I pause and say that trophy says white as sneakers?
Yeah, it's the Dundie. That's our Dundie award for the
from
whitest
the-
All right,
sneakers.
good.
the
It's okay.
trivia
Number
crawl.
one. Number one.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Now, it's interesting, Caleb Polk, just
Yes.
a little sidebar.
Yeah.
You did bring up the Super Bowl.
Yes.
In our last episode, I tried to tell the future,
Yeah, you did.
and I talked about how the 49ers totally destroyed the Kansas City Chiefs
Yeah, you did.
in Super Bowl. I apologize, everybody.
Yeah, dude.
He ain't no prophet.
Heck no.
Dude,
Mahomes.
I know. I thought they were going to pull it out.
He's the GOAT right now.
I guess he is.
He's the GOAT of his generation.
I can say, ladies and gentlemen, I was wrong.
It was such a good game.
It was good.
I'm
Great
so glad that
commercials
we
this
have
year,
that
too. Top
recorded.
notch.
Can we just, you know what? Can we just, like, I know that we're late to the game. I know we
Yeah.
missed
Like
a
super. Like it's like 3 weeks.
I know we
That's
missed
fine.
a week. I'm sorry, everybody. That's just the way it goes sometimes.
Caleb was in Hawaii.
Caleb was in Hawaii. I am a
Love
manager
that.
at my job, and I had one of the most brutal weeks ever. It sucks
Long
sometimes to
one.
be the manager. That's all I have to say.
Long one.
The more we go through this series and the more that I'm the manager, I realize how hard Michael Scott has it, and I'm so sorry.
I know why you are the way you are now.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, it sucks. And it's so good at the same time. But can we spend like 2 minutes
Yeah.
and talk about that halftime show?
Yes.
Because there was some like it got a little bit brutal. There was people who were getting a little bit crazy about it. Shakira,
Dude.
J-Lo.
I honestly, I don't know what you guys were thinking, but I loved it. Listen,
You would.
Oh my
since
God.
J-Lo's come back this year with Second Act and Hustlers, I'm on the J-Lo train.
There you go.
She's crushing it right now.
You just
Also, no, I mean, how old do you think J-Lo is?
she's got to be late 40s.
No,
What do you think?
she's 50 something.
She's 50 on the dot.
Okay.
J-Lo is 50.
Yeah.
You would not look at her and be like, that lady's 50 years old.
She's like the lady from SNL who was like, I like to kick and stretch and kick. I'm 50.
Kick. Let's kick. But yeah, dude. And as soon as Shakira did the weird tongue thing,
The goat.
Yeah.
I out loud at the party we were at, I said, that's a meme in the next 10 minutes.
For sure.
We've got to get on this train.
That's right. Get on the bandwagon.
And then by the time literally we were getting on, people were already posting videos of it, and it was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was good. Except, okay, the awkward part is that I was in a room with children. And so as soon as there was pole dancing, y'all, I'm fine. But I also don't want
no, totally.
It's awkward to watch pole dancing when you're with children.
There's something about when you add the pole.
That is true. Because after the pole, they were still doing salsa, which was beautiful. That was good.
Before and after the pole.
But as soon as you bring the pole, and as soon as the camera zooms in right between the legs, that's when you're like, there's vagina.
Oh my gosh.
There's bleep.
Do we put that on there?
That's a scientific term.
The medical
term.
term.
It's a medical term.
Birds and the bees.
Is.
Yeah. Okay, so probably it was,
See, I brought in that, so now it's a hard way to respond to that.
There were some shots.
Yeah.
That I think it was less about what J-Lo and Shakira were doing, and it was more about the director of photography.
Oh, there you go. That is true.
He was like, and ready, and take one, and zoom, and zoom,
yes.
and zoom.
That's
get
true.
on
That
up
is
in there.
true.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But is it just that they add the pole? Mm-hmm. Is that is it
that might be it.
So is it a weird? Is it like a connotation thing? Is it
I don't know.
Is it just what we've been like?
I think that it's a throwback.
This is everybody in the conference room getting super deep right now.
I know.
I
Nothing
think it's
to
a
do with The
throwback
Office.
to
Sorry.
Hustlers from this year with J-Lo. I mean, she it was a good movie, but she is very skilled using a large metal pole. So I think that she was doing a throwback to.
She was like,
filming Hustlers.
I trained for this movie.
I use
better
what I
use
know.
that training live right now.
I think that she was like, I need to show the world.
She's like, I'm the next Tom Cruise. I do my own stunts.
I need to show the world what's in a 21 plus setting.
Okay, there you go.
All right, there it is.
If you take the pole away, everything's fine.
Yeah.
That's true. I would
There you
agree
go.
with that.
There you go.
I'd agree with that.
There it is.
Hey, I'm a Latina.
Yeah, you
put
are.
You put some booty shaking to a salsa. I'm fine with that.
Listen, Shakira's got a freaking pipe on her.
she's
freaking
amazing.
Yeah, I was so impressed, vocally wise. But vocally wise, I can't talk now.
That's fine.
I did the blah, 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 too much.
There you go.
So many good memes though with the. Blah, 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 blah.
Can she still sing Jenny from the Block?
She did.
Do you? But I mean, I know she did.
I know,
But is anybody buying it?
Really?
I don't know if you're still from the block. I think you bought the block.
I don't think the block
right.
can relate anymore, but it's
You
fine.
bought the block and you opened the Starbucks. Let's be real here. Anyways, all right. Good that we got that out of the way.
Yeah.
All right, Prison Mike.
Prison Mike.
Yeah, people I feel like we needed to insert our opinion. People want to know.
Yeah, just like
Even if it
Michael.
was 2 weeks
Why is
late.
our whole audience shaking their head no right now?
Michael's going to insert his opinion later about life in prison.
Oh, baby,
Yeah.
is he ever. Are you guys ready to jump into this?
do
I've
it.
been waiting so long.
All right. Tonight, someone is a criminal. Prison Mike is going to scare you straight. The Nard Dog is on the hunt. Woo! And Ryan is the belle of the ball. This is the Convict, Season 3, Episode 9 of The Office, and I'm so glad that he does this accent, because me and Caleb, we're going to have a good time tonight, ladies
It's
and
going
gentlemen.
to be a good one,
yay.
Johnny.
All right, so the episode opens, and this was a little bit of a surprise for me.
Yeah.
Hannah's in the office. She brought her baby who is all in pink. Pam is loving this. Oh, beautiful baby. It's and she refers to it as a her. No, it's a him.
Yep.
Oh, he's all in pink. Yeah, it's his favorite color.
Sure.
He is.
He's
a
been very
baby.
vocal about
He is
that.
a baby.
And then, of course, Michael. He walks up and Michael says, "Oh my gosh, so cute. May I?" And I think we're all assuming that he's going to hold the baby.
Sure.
No. He's
think
going to
she
get
assumed
under
that
the
too.
desk
Yeah,
and do a look who's talking bit.
because that's a normal thing to ask permission for. May I speak on behalf of your child?
Oh my gosh.
I love it because he goes, Mama, Mama,
I'm thirsty, Mama.
I'm thirsty, Mama.
Okay, so here's the question I have. Didn't Hannah quit in the last episode, the merger?
Yeah, the first
I
10
forgot
seconds
about
of
that.
this, I thought the same thing. I was like, she walked out at the end of the merger.
Maybe she just looked at it as an opportunity to take an afternoon off. She's like, listen, I need space. Goodbye.
Maybe she got her 2 weeks and she's just like, I'm going to bring my kid for the next 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
you know what? I didn't even think about that.
Fire me?
She didn't walk out like, what's his name? Tony.
Tony.
Like Big Tony.
Yeah.
No. She's like, I'm going to give you my 2 weeks and I'm going to make it hell for you the whole time.
Yeah, I'm bringing my kid.
That's right. So then we find out that Jim and Karen are actually dating. They're together.
Yep.
Jim's not ready to talk about it openly. He's like, it might be cause some weird talk, make people feel awkward.
Yeah. Or Pam might find out.
Yeah, Pam definitely knows. She's picked up on it. You're seeing the looks that she's getting.
Or Michael might make a big deal about it.
Oh my gosh. See, I didn't even think about that either.
Yep.
That's why.
There's lots of reasons
there's
to
so many
hide this,
reasons
but
to hide
Michael's probably the biggest.
Definitely.
I would assume.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think back to Booze Cruise. You know you can't tell Michael a secret.
No.
So.
Oh my gosh. And so, okay, so we come back from the credits. And we got Michael, we got Angela, we got Kevin, we got Pam. They're in the conference room. They're on the phone with Jan. And they're trying to figure out this check came in. And like Michael definitely has no idea what it is. But Angela chimes in. She says, we got a rebate.
Wait, when you say Michael definitely has no idea what it is, not only does Michael not know where the money came from, he doesn't know what a check is.
it's like
That's what we mean by he has no idea what it is.
It's like a piece of paper. It kind of looks like a check sort of thing.
A check sort of thing.
Yeah. But
Angela,
Angela's like, okay, it's a rebate check from the Federal Work Opportunity Program. To which Jan says, yes, we get that for hiring an ex-convict.
Yeah.
Tobes.
Now, Michael, speaking of Tobes, says, I didn't hire an ex-convict unless you're talking about Toby. And I quote, convicted rapist. He says in the middle of the room.
All casual, no big deal, convicted rapist.
Which is like the most gruesome crime, right? Like,
oh my gosh.
Convicted rapist.
Michael is going to have the most epic bell curve in this episode.
Yeah.
He starts out completely depraved. Then he will have a moment of clarity. Then he will go off the deep end again. We'll get there.
Yeah.
So Toby, convicted rapist.
Isn't that the journey of Michael Scott in any
I guess so.
episode?
I guess that's true.
That's just who he is.
Now, we can either confirm or deny these allegations regarding
Sure.
Toby Flenderson. Am I correct, Toby?
Wow.
I mean, he has been busted with marijuana in the office, a.k.a. Caprese salad.
That's right. That's right. But then, so Jan makes it clear, hey, this may have been from the merge. It might have been somebody from Stamford, but they're not sure who.
Yeah.
And so let's check out this clip as they try to decipher who it might be.
Martin? You are such a racist. Why am I a racist? Because you think he's black. He is black, right? And stop it. He was the last one. Stop it right now. Yeah, don't.
Okay, it's someone named Martin Nash.
Yeah.
Yes, it's him.
Why did the convict have to be a black guy? It is such a stereotype. I just wish that Josh had made a more progressive choice, like a white guy
Very specific.
who went to prison for polluting a black guy's lake.
Oh gosh. Polluting a black guy's lake.
What does that have to do with anything? What is is that a reference to something?
Well, and do black...
So. I think that in his head he was trying to think of a white collar crime, like pollution, like corporations polluting.
He's trying to think of the
That's funny.
whitest crime you could commit, polluting a lake.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
And I
black
love
guy's
that
lake.
he's like, he is, like, why is that bad? He is black. But I did have an experience, so I'm Mexican. One of my friends truly did look at me and say, so what would I say? Would I just call you a Mexican? I'm like,
Oh my God.
I am Mexican. Yes, you would. There's nothing wrong with calling me what I am.
Now, let's not pull any punches. That person was Adam Jones, and that happened
Yeah, I
on
think
this
it happened
podcast.
live on the air. I'm pretty sure that happened live. That
Give
is
Adam
true.
a break. He's a Wisconsin mom.
There you go.
He's like, so what would I call you? Would I call you a Mexican?
And then he probably said, I could have you over for some hard shell tacos.
Exactly.
If
Don't you know?
If that tickles your fancy there.
Oh my God. Go back and listen to
Which
Diversity
actually,
Day.
It really does.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's when it happened.
I'm pretty sure it was the second episode of this podcast that happened. So
Oh my
it
God.
was excellent.
I love it.
It was excellent. It was great.
But yes, you can make me a taco any day, anybody.
Yeah.
I welcome
Some
tacos.
tacos today.
We had
Not because I'm Mexican.
we had tacos last
Tacos
night.
are amazing.
Honestly,
that
I
is
have
true.
tacos every day almost. So.
Oh, we have it at least once a week.
That's an exaggeration.
Okay.
Okay, twice.
quick side note. You guys, when you lived in Bakersfield, did they have breakfast tacos?
Oh, sure.
Is that a thing that existed?
Yeah.
I make breakfast tacos sometimes.
In Texas, I literally had breakfast tacos. I'm not kidding, 4 days a week.
Oh, baby.
At least.
There's a couple of places around here that have a good breakfast burrito.
Yeah.
A good breakfast burrito is the way to my heart.
It is.
Like, if we ever get to the point where this show is so big that we're doing, like, conventions and live shows.
Yeah.
And, like, people are lined up to come watch a live show.
It's going to be with breakfast burritos.
The way that you will get backstage is bring me breakfast burrito. It's going to happen.
I love breakfast burritos, but they put me out of commission, dude. After I eat it, I'm like, well, I need to go to bed now and just restart my day in 12 hours.
It's totally over.
It's like pooping after you shower. Like, it's like, well, now
what's the point?
I just get back in bed, I guess, and start again tomorrow? I don't know.
Wait, so just to be clear, on the days where you poop after you shower, you just get in bed?
I might have called into work once.
Like, sorry, I pooped. Do you understand?
I showered because I was so mad at myself. I was like, what is wrong? I have the digestive system of John Wayne, like just steaks and coffee.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay, so they're trying to figure out, what did he do? Like, what did Martin do?
Yeah.
Why is he a convict? This is the moment where Michael Scott pulls an excellent manager move. Sort of. So for initially, he's like, maybe,
kind of.
Yeah, he was like, maybe he was at a sporting event. Maybe people were pushing each other, and he intervened. Sure.
And then I think Pam says, why would he go to jail for that?
Exactly. But then he says, here's what we need to do. All of us need to forget about it. It will cause people to draw unfair conclusions about Martin and about black people.
Truth.
We need to just forget about it and move on. Yeah. I'm going, Michael, excellent. Yes, it doesn't leave this room.
Yeah.
Move on. Nobody needs to know.
That's a great managerial point from Michael.
It will not last.
Yeah, he's going to be the one that breaks it.
Exactly. Oh, my gosh. And then, of course, I think in a moment of clarity for Pam also, everybody seems to be on board, but she's like, Angela, can you handle this? And of course, as the 90-pound, what did she say? 90-pound white woman who sits in a dimly lit corner. Of course, I'm on board. Let's protect the convicts.
And Michael goes, great.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Also, we need to point out, because Michael was so confused by this check, he has 4 people in the room with him for this phone call.
Still can't
Kevin's
even label it a check.
Pam's there. Angela's there.
That is so funny.
It is interesting.
Why is Kevin there?
That's what I was going to say.
Well, he's in accounting, but why do you need 2 accounting people, and where's Oscar?
Maybe okay. So Angela's there because she's the accountant. Pam's there to take notes and advise. Kevin is there.
Advise and be the boss.
Kevin is there to make Michael feel better about himself.
There it is.
Yes.
And to offer snacks.
That's exactly why he's there.
He brought the chocolate.
And then we go back out to the bullpen. This next part is so rough and kind of dirty that I feel like I need to use their full Christian names.
Okay.
So Andrew Bernard is on the phone with Mr. Jimothy Halpert, and he leads into the phone call with the phrase, and I quote, "I am so horny."
No.
My favorite thing about this is that Jim hears it and waits like 7 seconds to respond because he has to double check of like, where did this just come from?
Yes.
Was that in my mind?
And then he goes, I can't help you with that.
He's processing, what am I to do with this information?
For real. And so Andy is kind of going around the office, like basically like, hey, I need to hook up with somebody. Is basically saying, what about Kelly? And he has some choice words for who he thinks Kelly would be. Jim is like, no, you don't. She's dating Ryan. Like I care. Well, she's high maintenance. Okay, moving on.
Moving on.
He sort of gives Meredith a look, then does not even bring it up.
Nope.
Yep.
Yes.
Which, let's be
As
honest,
did we all.
That's probably his best bet, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Probably, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He then says, hey, what about Angela? That would be fun for no one. And then it's Pam.
Yeah.
And Jim in this moment has a just moment of clarity and says, When Andy's like, should I go for it? He's like, absolutely, you should.
Yes.
Which I think is what he says to Dwight whenever Dwight is going to bring something up.
Which is what Pam points out later in the series is she loves how Jim says, absolutely, I do. Anytime anytime Dwight asks you to join an alliance.
That's right. So Jim is going to encourage Andy to pursue Pam in the best way possible. We cut over to Michael and Dwight out in sort of like the lobby or entrance area of their like specific office.
Yeah.
Just a minute ago, Michael was like, the best thing we can do is forget this. He immediately goes to Dwight and is going to tell Dwight that there's a ex-convict in the building.
Yes, which is spreading it from the 4 people.
Oh my gosh. And all I could say is that Dwight pretty much has the most Dwight reaction ever. So let's check out this clip.
No, Dwight, be cool.
He is rushing in.
Really concerned about having a convict in the office. And I do not care if that convict is white, black, Asian, German, or some kind of halvesy.
Oh my God.
I don't like criminals.
He does not like criminals. That is right.
Yes.
I'm surprised he's not one. Is he not? Is
Dwight?
he one?
Dwight's one of those people that could accidentally become a criminal because he's like such a literal person.
I see that.
All the things that happened in the barn,
Yeah,
you would assume.
But this is a man who is a volunteer sheriff's deputy.
Okay, there you go.
He has such respect for upholding the rule of law.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes, he does.
This is a man who's like, I believe in the law so much, you don't even have to pay me.
What's so
I'm going to give my free time.
is that when Michael tells him in the hallway to come into the Dunder Mifflin building, he doesn't even say anything. He just starts rushing the door.
He's just like, what is he going to do? Just attack him? I don't know. It's ridiculous. But I love that Dwight's reaction to this is, I'm going to take a fat stack of cash,
Yes.
hang it out of my butt pocket, and then just bend over in the most like seductive way to Martin.
He's right. His butt is like inches from his face at one point.
Oh my gosh. What is the hope here?
I think
That he's going to commit a crime?
He's
Again.
baiting Martin to see like, is this guy going to steal this money?
Is this entrapment right now?
This is definitely entrapment.
See, I'm not a criminal yet, but I would have stolen money. Like, oh, here's a 20.
This is a woman whose favorite film, or one of her favorite films, is the Thomas Crown Affair
Oh yeah.
I've never even seen. I don't
Oh,
even know what
it's
that
so
is.
good.
with Pierce Brosnan
I love Pierce
and
Brosnan.
Rene Rousseau.
Okay, I'm in on that
the
cast.
best heist.
This is a woman who wants to pull a heist.
Oh, for sure.
Who
Get
believes she
access
could be
to
a thief.
Poor Richards. You'll hear
Oh, I
about
know
one
it.
of them. But
Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will.
Oh, yeah,
Come
yeah.
join us at Poor Richards.
I know that I could be a great thief. I'm an
no.
excellent
The George Clooney of
planner.
Bakerfield.
I'm a
That's right.
strategist. I can do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am not exaggerating. Come join us at Poor Richards, $3 a month. Patreon.com/InOfficePod. Tonight you will hear why Andy is probably wanted by the feds for pulling a successful heist.
I did.
Literally
I did.
George Clooney in Ocean's 11.
That is true. That is absolutely true.
Forgetting men.
Come join us.
I'm proud. There is no shame.
She wants to be a professional thief.
That is kind of my dream job.
I
think that's my bucket list, to steal
Okay.
something big and not get caught.
Just wait until you're like 75. And
Can I
just
tell you?
Oh yeah.
She did steal something big. My heart.
Oh my god.
I mean,
All right, here we
is
go.
your heart as big as your butt? Because I stole both.
Touche.
How do you steal a butt?
Touche, madam.
You know.
You pulled it off. Something that's really quick. Something that's also interesting about this is that this was the worst plan possible by Dwight, because there is a camera crew literally it's a
Yes.
documentary. Martin is sitting at his desk, and suddenly Dwight is bending over with cash, and there's a camera crew watching him. Like, it wasn't going to work out.
Oh, it's so good.
So then we cut back to I believe this was in the kitchen.
Yep.
Nard Dog and Tuna. They are sitting down, and he wants to get the skinny on Pam. He wants to know, how can I impress her? And Jim is deciding, I know what Pam loves. Mm-hmm. I also know what she hates. So I am going to give Andy all of the information he needs to make the worst impression possible. And so he's telling Andy that she loves Frisbee-based competitions.
That's very specific.
To which I quote, the Nard Dog says, I live to froth.
I live to froth.
He would.
And he like gives out some point about starting some like frisbee rec game at
Cornell.
Yeah, at Cornell.
Oh my gosh.
Did Andy have life outside of Cornell? We'll never know.
I don't think so. Sailing.
There you go. Pamela's hunting.
Yes.
She loves those Six Flags commercials with the old man.
I mean, who doesn't?
San Francisco, move your body. Oh my gosh! And
I hated those, by the way.
Rob had the arms and I had the shoulders.
That's right.
Caleb brought the voice. We got
Yep.
this. We're a good team.
And then to cap it off, hey Nard Dog, can you speak in Pig Latin?
Oh yes. The
He's just giving
sweet voice of Igpe Attenley.
Oh my gosh! Just giving him
Can
all.
you speak in Pig Latin?
Early Bay.
I'll take that as a no.
She doesn't even know.
All right.
Okay, you know what? Side note. I once had somebody. This is the worst idea ever. I once had somebody insult me to another person in Pig Latin because they thought that I didn't know it.
Wait,
Oh
you know
my
Pig Latin?
gosh.
What is Pig Latin?
Lady,
I bet this guy has a samurai sword hanging on his wall in his house.
It was two girls.
Oh my! Even what?
Yeah.
Wait, I know people that have a samurai sword hanging in their house. What does that mean? I gotta know.
Don't tell me.
Okay, wait.
know.
You don't know. Let's break this down super fast.
Okay,
you don't
okay.
know Pig Latin?
Nope.
Okay. So
know Spanish.
I want to try to explain this. Like you take like at every syllable, you take the first letter, you put it on the end, and
It's
add
just
A.
Yeah, no, just
Every
the first letter of every
syllable.
word.
Okay, you
Yeah.
don't do it by syllable.
No, I do it by word. So like
Okay.
Pig Latin is Igpe Attenley.
So my name would be Abre. Rob, you take the R, put it on the end, and then add
Okay.
A. Abre.
Ambertley.
Yeah, exactly. Aleb K.
Yeah.
Olkpay.
Yeah.
Caleb Polk.
Ogbe.
Oh, she's like it's blowing around. Okay,
It's
so
super
this,
easy.
So I was on. Oh, this is the most ridiculous thing ever. I was on a trip,
Yeah.
like a service trip with some people from college,
Okay.
and there was these two girls that were on the team, and they were jerks. And we had a break.
Little itches bay, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
Caleb Polk. That's why. That's
All
why
right,
you're here.
apparently I now speak Pig Latin.
That's why you are here. And so we had a day where we were taking a break. We were off, and we were at a pool, and I was like,
I was just strutting my stuff
Yeah.
without my shirt on. Duh.
Now here's the deal. I'm not the most like svelte guy ever.
He's lying.
I understand.
He is.
I got a dad bod, and I'm
Oh
good
no,
with it.
it's
I'm
good.
good with it.
It's good.
I'm laying on the side of the pool, and I hear them in the water, and they're
In the
talking.
water, just talking about you.
They're floating in the water,
Oh my gosh.
Those floaters.
and they're like having a conversation. And then one of the girls says to the other girl,
Look at that hottie.
Each-
Hot bod. Okay.
she says,
We're not asking what Andy would say.
She says, I want your bod. No, she says, Eached Bay Ale Way.
Oh my gosh.
What is that? Tell me more.
Beached whale. I stand behind
Biatch.
what I said.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Caleb Polk.
I'm behind him.
In the words of
cheering
Michael
him
Scott,
on.
you want me to push you up against the wall? Yeah.
Exactly.
That's super mean.
I've got my arms thrown with like gang signs.
It was.
That's way too mean for college.
Right?
That's like what I would expect like an 8th grader to say. This is like, have you seen John Mulaney stand up when he's like, when I pass 8th graders on the sidewalk, I cross the street because they will point out the most personal parts
Right?
that you hate about
Oh
yourself.
my gosh. It blew my mind. I was like, okay, sweet.
Did you cry?
Are you serious right now?
I mean,
That's
yeah.
super mean though.
and then I had like another 3 weeks on the road with these ladies.
Oh my gosh. I bet that was joy.
Oh, we had some. I digress. You know, maybe Patreon next week. We
right,
had some
we'll talk about that.
conversations. Oh my
I
gosh,
gotta know.
it was bad news. But yeah, I was like, man, really? Like, not to. Let me just put it this way: they were of a different ethnicity than me, and they spoke a language that I don't. So they could have went with that, and I would have never known. But for some reason, they went with Pig Latin.
They chose to say something of, "There's a 50% chance he'll understand this."
Like if anybody's been through 8th grade, like you said, they're going to know what we're saying. I'm like, oh gosh, it's ridiculous. So anyways,
8th graders will walk by and be like, "That guy's hips are low when he walks." And you're like, "I hate this about myself."
So we go back into the bullpen. And Michael, just a few minutes earlier, has said, guys, we need to forget about this. Michael decides he's going to announce to the entire office, hey, you all might have heard, which I don't know why.
Yeah, how?
He just is choosing to announce it at this point.
You all may have heard that Martin had some trouble with the law, but he wants to make it very clear that he completely trusts him. He says, show me a white man that you trust, and I will show you a black man that I trust even more. And then he throws it to the office.
Yes. I think I can know these off the top of my head if you want to pass them.
Yeah, let's do this. So we go to Pam, and Pam says, my dad.
He says, please, Donald Glover.
Danny Glover. Close. About the same, anyways.
Danny Glover, though.
Then we throw it over to Jim, who says Justin Timberlake.
Sure.
I don't remember this one. I take it back.
Colin Powell.
Wait, who is Colin Powell?
Colin Powell was the Secretary of Defense.
In the mid-2000s, early 2000s.
For Bush, right?
I think Bush.
I think it was President Bush.
But the fact that he put that for Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, for real.
Oh,
and then the best one, Karen Filippelli, and I have to reiterate, give me a white man that you trust.
Oh my god.
Karen Filippelli. How about Jesus?
Apollo Creed.
Apollo Creed. Greatest. Just to clarify, Jesus, not a white man.
Yeah.
Let's just make that super clear.
I mean, she's referring to the white painting.
We do not endorse the theological thinking of Karen Filippelli.
That's right. That's right.
Everybody in the conference.
But the flowing blonde hair with the halo around him and the open arms.
Are we talking about beauty pageant? Are we talking about beauty pageant
Jesus that's going to give you a warm hug?
There you go.
I mean, Apollo Creed.
Apollo Creed.
Apollo.
That was the only one that went. That makes sense.
Yes.
Like, who do you want in your corner? Who do you want in your corner? Do you want Jesus or Apollo Creed?
Apollo Creed.
Amen.
He's throwing bricks for fists.
Oh my gosh. So then we go to a talking head with Michael, who, this is so good. He said he's upset of the whole stereotype thing. That, earlier he's like, why did Josh have to hire, why did it have to be a black guy? Like, it's such a stereotype.
Yeah.
And so Michael is saying, I want you to close your eyes. Picture a convict. Got baggy pants, wearing a backwards hat. Probably saying, yo, that's shizzle.
Yo, that's
shizzle.
Now open your eyes. What did you envision? Was it a black man? You're wrong. That was a white woman. Shame on you.
A white woman.
A white
woman. It was actually Jesus. White Jesus.
It was Jesus in baggy pants with a black hat, and he said, verily I say to thee, yo, that's shizzle.
Yo, that's shizzle.
Oh my gosh. So dang good. So then we go into the break room, and Martin is sitting there, and he's like, hey, you guys want to know what I was in for? He's got nothing to hide. You guys want to know? I don't mind sharing it. And Michael's kind of like, no, you don't got to do that. And he's like, no, it's not a big deal. And he talks about he's working in finance. He got involved in some insider trading.
Yeah.
Martha Stewart. Yeah. Status over here.
Enron.
That's right.
I don't know if that's what Enron went that far.
I think it was a little different.
Bernie Madoff.
There you go. Sure.
There we go.
Kevin, though, brings up an interesting point. He said he needed Martin to explain it 3 different times because it sounds a lot like what he does every day in his job.
I guess I don't understand what insider trading is then. What could Kevin be doing?
How I understand that it works, it's like if a company is about to make a big announcement or like they're about to introduce a new product onto the market, like a publicly traded company, at certain times you would want to dump a bunch of shares and then buy a bunch of shares, right? Like,
okay.
And so you would like give word to like your in-laws and be like, hey, you need to buy like 100 shares of this. Like, we're about to announce this new product. Or stock's going to go through the roof.
Yeah. Like our company is going down.
Kevin could not. I'm positive that Kevin is not then.
It would be like if I have a company and Kaleb has stock in my company and I know that my company's about to tank hardcore. And before that announcement is made, I go to Kaleb and I say, Kaleb,
sell now.
You need to sell all of these right now.
Because you're screwing the people.
Because when I make this announcement, your stuff is going to be worth 1/3 of what it was or whatever. Maybe we're butchering it, but that's my understanding too.
Yeah, that's how I understood
Or the
it.
opposite. Like,
Yeah, I watched Wolf of Wall Street.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Kevin, you're fine. You're not doing that.
Yeah,
That's why I think it's funny that I got to explain it 3 times.
I know.
I can assure you, Kevin is definitely not doing
Sure.
that.
No, you're fine, Kevin. You can't count, and you eat M&Ms all day. You're fine.
You're totally fine.
You're good.
But then that starts the conversation in the room. People want to know, what was it like?
Yeah.
Like, tell us about prison, Martin.
Yeah.
You know,
Insider's
you were there.
view.
Yeah, we want to know. Give us the skinny, man. What was it like? And he's like, you know, it wasn't.
It's where everybody wants to be. I think.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. You know, we got outdoors time. There was classes. There's business classes taught by Harvard business professionals.
Yeah.
A lot of guys who took those classes went on to do amazing
Do
things.
you guys think this is real though?
Yeah.
I mean, for like
white,
probably for white collar.
And they like have some
if you're
really
in
great
a low
concerts, I hear.
violent like cell, like a non-violent crime cell, this happens
Probably,
for sure.
probably.
Yeah.
You would probably be, if people go listen to Patreon, you would probably be the closest to knowing what it would be like.
Great,
Yeah,
yes.
you'll have more experience.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
I'll let you guys know in 10 years.
But it gets to the point where people are kind of like, prison sounds way better than working at Dunder Mifflin.
Sure.
And Michael
I mean,
I think Kevin's the one that goes, "Oh, prison sounds way better."
Yeah. And
I
if you
wish I
can
was in
imagine
prison
Dwight's
right now.
butt in your face all the time,
that's a perk of prison.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Michael does not agree. He is like going to make it his mission to prove that Dunder Mifflin is much better than prison.
I love how personal he takes everything. Like, isn't Dunder Mifflin the best place on earth, Disneyland, for you guys?
Pretty much.
And if it's not decidedly, then I will make you decide that.
I will make sure that you know.
This will be your opinion when you leave.
And then we get a real quick cut over to Hannah, still has her baby. Creed deciding to interact with the baby. And I mean, Grandpa Creed. He made like a cool baby toy out of paper clips.
He's the oldest guy in the office. He should be the most wise about children.
Exactly. He made a cool toy for the baby. Karen Filippelli's holding a baby, and she's like, Creed, that toy, he will swallow it.
Yeah.
And Creed is like, no problem. I can make another one.
He's like, no problem. I got tons at my desk.
I could kill plenty of babies.
But then, ladies and gentlemen, we have a clip because it's at this point when the Nard dog officially, after getting all the insider info from Jim, it's time for the Nard dog to hunt.
He's going in.
He's got the sit.
Going in for the kill.
And it's time. So let's listen in to that good Bernard charm.
Yes.
Pamela Ding Dong.
Beautiful. Starting strong.
Listen, you're cute. There's no getting around it.
Oh, baby.
So, I don't know if you like country music. I was thinking maybe one of these days we could drive out to a field, crank up some tunes, smoke a few Macanudos.
I don't
Maybe
even know what a
toss a disc
Macanudo
around.
is.
Toss around the disc.
But wait, ude, uye, inkte, ante.
Okay.
Think about it. I'll hit you back.
Yes.
And then
That's smooth.
you need to be watching this at home because this is a beautiful Jim moment. He spins and eye contact. And she knows.
She knows immediately. She knows immediately.
Okay, I know I'm new to this language. What did he say?
I think he said, "What do you think about that, Pam?"
Yes. Yeah. What do you think?
Okay.
What do you think, Pam?
Yeah.
Yeah. And which is funny because then 2 seconds later he says, "Shh, think about it.
Think about it.
I'll hit you up later."
I love that while he's talking, she's shaking her head no, and he's oblivious. He's like, no, no means yes.
What's funny is like, other than starting with Pamela Ding Dong, the first 10 seconds is like a really aggressive, but could almost lead somewhere. Like, hey,
Sure.
you're cute. There's no getting around it.
it.
But then he runs it because he goes, I don't know if you like country music. Which immediately pressing the brakes, bud.
Okay, hang on a minute. Let me.
Unless it's Old Town Road.
It's time. Oh my gosh. Let me go ahead and Google what is Macanudos.
I think it's a cigar.
Oh, you are absolutely right.
Am I? All right.
Yeah, Macanudos.
Yeah.
There it is. Beautiful.
Sounds like menudo to
Listen
me.
to country music, smoke some cigars.
So I cannot emphasize enough that Jim said, here's what you need to do. She loves it when you use her name as a weird nickname.
Yep. Hamburger.
She loves country music, smoking cigars,
Yeah.
throwing the Frisbee around, And that good pig Latin.
Honestly, that sounds like an awesome date. I would go on a date with the Nard Dog.
Right?
Toss some disc and smoke a macanudo. Let's go.
And you know that eventually, as the sun starts going down and you build that campfire, he's going to bust out the banjo. And it's going to be time to rock and roll. Oh, it's going to be so good.
And then there's Kaleb across the office. Yes, I'll go.
Yes.
I say yes.
So then Michael comes out of his office, and he's had enough of this whole prison talk. He says,
because no one's talking.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You have all expressed how much you think that prison sounds awesome, so I'm going to make some changes around here to make it more like prison.
Yep.
So right now you're going to get 1 hour of outdoor time. Which
in the dead of winter.
Kevin was super excited about outdoor time.
He was like, yes.
They're outdoors in the freezing.
Yes.
The freezing Pennsylvania winter. And
this looks like the middle of February.
Sure. And then I love that Michael's just like, hey, who wants to pump some iron? He pulls out a little barbell, to which Jim is like, is that a 5? And he's like, no, 2.5.
Going for tone.
Yeah, going for tone, not bulk.
Not bulk, going for tone.
So then everybody heads back inside after Stanley leads away. But Jim...
Including the baby, thankfully.
Yeah, Hannah has her baby out there.
Which, all right. Hannah.
She's so forward. Yeah, Hannah, I would imagine she would just be like, no. Like,
yeah, for real. I'm going to stay here and pump.
Do you think Hannah vaccinates her? Okay.
I'm just kidding. Oh, my gosh. So Jim then tells Andy, I have one more idea. Do you know how to play the guitar? No, but I have my banjo. Excellent. Also, can you sing in a high, sexy falsetto? To which he leans down into his ear and says, you know I can make. You know I can. And he's going to go get his banjo, and the Nard Dog's going to make his final move. It's at this point that Karen Filippelli realizes what's going on, and she tells Jim, I want in. And Jim gets a little defensive here. He's kind of like, no, I think I've got Pam, on lockdown. Who else can we? What's going on here?
Yeah, I think he's deflecting because they're flirting through the Nard Dog. Right
sure,
now.
Sure.
At least Jim is for sure. I mean, Pam hasn't really done anything yet. She knows that he's the one that sent the Nard Dog.
Yeah, she knows that she's getting attention.
I think that even though, I think this is also the episode that Jim announces he's dating Karen. There's something inside of him that wants to interact with Pam.
Sure.
And have fun with Pam.
Yeah. And so Michael sort of announces that he is sort of fed up with all the insults that are happening to Dunder Mifflin regarding prison. And he pulls everybody into the conference room. And
everybody in the conference room.
That's right. And he says, you know what? Maybe you need to meet somebody else who has been to prison and can tell you what it's really like.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Toby.
Ladies and gentlemen.
We've been waiting for.
This is when we get introduced.
Ow.
To Prison Mike.
Yes.
Prison Mike. Gruel waffles.
That's right. Prison Mike is in the house. And he's going to... He starts out strong. He's going to push Angela up against the wall.
Oh, it's so good.
He's
Which is... I'm just going to stop here for a sec because normally when he does an impromptu everybody in the conference room, right?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
He lets them heckle a little. Yeah, he'll let them heckle. Jim will normally have a comment,
Sure.
This is the first heckle of the day, to which he responds with, do you want me to push you up against the wall, biatch? And everybody goes, whoa, whoa, whoa.
That's just the way we talk in the clink.
That's how we talk.
He then goes ahead and lets Ryan know that Ryan would be the belle of the ball.
The belle of the ball.
Isn't he already, according to Mike?
He kind of is. That is once again a little reiteration of how Michael feels about Ryan. To which he says, and twice, don't drop the soap. Do not drop the soap.
Do not drop the soap.
And then I think Ryan
He's like,
goes,
I got plans for that soap being on the floor from you.
Ryan goes, what? And he goes,
oh, no,
Kiss your face.
I can't. I already chills up the spine. Done.
Jim wants to know, hey, Prison Mike, what are you in for? What happened?
Yeah, what'd you do?
I stole. I robbed. I kidnapped the president's son and held him for ransom.
All right.
And I never got caught neither.
He jumps to such a dramatic story.
Oh my gosh.
And then how was he in jail if he never got caught?
That's why I think Jim goes, but you're in jail, so okay.
Okay.
They want to know about the food. It was just gruel. Gruel sandwiches. You could also eat your own hair.
Gruel waffles. And you could eat your own hair. To which Andy goes, "Man, prison sounds rough."
Thank you, Andy. Tanks. Tanks. I love that. Thank you, Andy. Tanks. Dwight wants to know, what was the worst part about prison? The Dementors. They were flying all around. It was so scary. They would suck out your soul. It was very painful.
Like the Dementors from Harry Potter?
Yeah, exactly.
Not Harry Potter.
Oh,
That's what he says. Okay, when you're watching this at home, if you're watching this after this episode and you've listened, watch Jim's face when they go to the Dementors line, because you can tell this is like shot 36 on this, because he is just like trying not to cry. His face is like cherry red from laughing from like previous takes, and you can tell he just wants to pass out.
There's a part of me that wonders, okay, kind of breaking the fourth wall. There's a part of me that wonders if the whole Dementors was a ad lib.
Impromptu, sure.
I think that it has to be.
Because he's looking like he's going to break.
Everybody is. This is like when freaking Jimmy Fallon used to constantly break the fourth wall on SNL, and you kind of like it. You're like,
exactly.
Oh, he's so cute.
I feel like it was an ad lib, and he was about to break character, and then Karen saves it with, like in Harry Potter. Not like in Harry Potter.
Not like Harry Potter.
So Michael wraps up Prison Mike, and he thinks that he's reached everybody, but then Martin makes it super clear this was not like my experience at all in prison. It kind of sounds like a lot of stuff that I've seen on TV.
Yeah.
And so then Michael decides, you know what? Fine. If you want to be in prison, I'm going to lock you in the conference room, and he locks him in
like a toddler. Through a little bit, I will lock the door.
That's right. Pam comes up with a great idea. Let's call the one person who's not in this meeting who can save us.
HR.
Yes.
Let's call Toby.
But right before she calls Toby, I think it shows Kevin knocking on the door.
Just constantly.
And he's looking at Hannah, who's feeding her baby from across the office. And he's like, "Let us out of here." And she looks up and goes, "Shh.
I'm trying to put the baby to sleep.
I'm trying to feed this baby."
That's right. So then Pam calls Toby, and this is Toby at his finest. Because Toby indeed comes to the rescue. Let's check out this clip of Tobes.
Michael, why's everyone locked in the conference room?
They were very disrespectful to me and to the office.
To me.
And Martin has had a bad influence. To think that I gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, you're going to have to let him out, or I will.
Okay. You know what, Toby? I am teaching them a lesson, so...
You know they're teasing
Kevin's just watching.
I mean... Obviously, this
Kevin
is
just
a
watching
much
the window.
nicer place than an actual prison. We get paid to be here. We go home afterwards and have social lives.
He's like breaking through to Michael right now.
I know.
We have parties here. Michael's like, "That's true."
It'd be funny.
The dad hat of Toby
Totally
comes out and he works with his toddler.
Okay, nutcases.
Nutcases.
Good work.
I love what he says
Long day.
to Stanley.
Really long. Why don't you guys head home early?
And here it comes.
Time off for good behavior.
Also,
Even Dwight. Love that.
Stanley comes
Enjoy your
out
freedoms.
Enjoy your freedoms.
on a crossword. Enjoy your freedoms. Stanley comes out on a crossword, making me think he's always on crosswords. I don't think he even knew that they were locked in there.
Yeah, he had no idea.
He's the last
He's
one
like,
out of the room.
is the meeting over?
He was like, "All right, Michael's locked us in the conference room. Plenty of time for me to do my puzzles."
And Sudoku.
That's right. It's almost like, okay, so Toby totally gets through to him.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Andy Lambert playing footsie with me under the
I didn't know
podcast
you were
table.
gonna tell.
God.
It's all right. It's okay. It's good. It's theater of the mind. I want people to know what's happening.
This is an audio medium.
That's right. That's right. We have to paint the mental picture. Toby totally gets through to Michael, and it's almost like there's almost like a turn for Michael where he's like,
yes,
they love me. That's why they're doing this. I
he
totally get
starts to tear up. His eyes get red, and he's like, wow.
These are my people.
I've learned a lot today.
I'm touched. I'm so touched. So Michael sort of reflects on the day. In his reflection on how things went, we find out that Martin quits and is leaving Dunder Mifflin. And Michael makes it very clear, I will not miss him, but it's not because he's black.
It's not because
Dang, Michael. And then as the episode closes out, Andy Bernard, taking Jim at his word, sings the worst version of Rainbow Connection I have ever heard.
All falsetto.
All falsetto with a banjo.
Yes.
And it includes some pig Latin in there as well.
He's the goat.
Oh my gosh.
Dude.
And Pam just takes it like a champ.
Yeah, she did a great job.
She's smiling the whole time. This is what I'm saying. Like, she could have shut this down. Right?
Totally.
Yeah.
If she didn't want
She was a good sport.
Yeah, but she's like, Jim would love this.
Well, it's interesting because earlier on, Jim is saying, I know Pam very well. I know her likes and her dislikes. She loves pranks.
Yeah.
So what's really interesting about this whole thing is it's like a super meta. Jim is really flirting with Pam.
Yes.
By
via
giving her
through the Nard Dog.
Like pranking her hard all day.
He's like their flirt robot.
And he protected that prank from anybody else being involved.
That's right.
Including his current girlfriend,
That's right.
Ann Filippelli.
That's right. If she knew. If she only knew.
Well.
The flirtatiousness.
She's about to learn.
All right. Well, there you go. That's the Convict. As always, we throw it out to you guys to hear what were your favorite parts and some awesome stuff here. Let's just break this down. Okay. So via Instagram, we got Rox Yosox, who said their favorite part was, is that 5 pounds? 2.5. I'm going for tone, not bulk. We got Z-Read 240, Kevin realizing that his job is insider trading. Anthony C. Marciano. Okay. Anthony here says, yes, the eye contact between Stanley and the Convict when he bumps his chest. I think that was the merger episode. That was last episode, right?
Yeah.
Still an excellent moment because Stanley's face is so
is.
good.
He's like, no.
Martin's like trying to get that connection going. Stanley's like, nah.
You do not belong to me.
You're going to be going on the next episode.
Yep.
Joe Pro in Fresno. Good old Joe Bianchi. The way Prison Mike says biatch and the way he says Dementors gets me every time.
Tanks,
Andy. Thank you. Thanks, Andy. Tiger Hunter going for tone, not bulk, of course. Michelle D over on Twitter loved worst thing about prison was the Dementors. H.A. Simpson on Twitter, Jim giving Andy all the wrong what Pam likes when Andy's pursuing her.
Fave.
Which tells you how much Jim knows about Pam.
I know.
Yeah.
Like,
all those years of watching.
He knows. Also over on Twitter at Two Strike Noise, the Dementors, and this is what they said. It had to be hard to be able to verbalize the horror that Prison Mike must have gone through being tormented by them. But to better the office, he relived it in hopes that others didn't fall into the same trap as he did.
Thank you, Prison Mike. We are all so grateful for your insight.
He's like, avoid it because of the Dementors.
Never got caught neither.
That's right, never got caught. Over on Facebook. We don't get a lot of interaction on Facebook.
All right. Is this my mom?
Cameron Anderson. Is that your mom's name?
Mom?
Their favorite part was, my favorite moment is when everybody comes to the conclusion that prison sounds more appealing than work.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, of course, ladies and gentlemen, via Twitter.
Yes.
As always, tried and true. At Tromboner Man. Which, by the way, I want to point out, I saw a post from Mr. Tromboner Man saying that he started a new job a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, congrats.
So,
Congratulations.
hope that's going well for you, my friend.
Congrats to Tromboner
Proud of
Man.
you.
That is right. Hope it's going well for you, my friend. This is what he said. This, and I have to agree, absolutely, he nails it on the head. This is the quintessential Office episode. There's so much funny. The cold open, Jim sending Andy after Pam with the best info, and Prison Mike. My favorite moment, though, is Jim picking up the phone and Andy saying, so horny with the voice. He laughs at that moment every time. He says,
It is.
Oh, my
we got to get Tromboner Man on this show.
Oh,
that's a good idea.
That's right. He's like the mascot of the show. What can I say?
Always with the insights.
mascot.
Thank you guys, as always, for dropping those moments and stuff that you enjoy. We love that interaction with you guys and being able to shout you out. So that's really cool. And then, as always, as we wrap up the episode, we love to go over to the Dunder Mifflin subreddits and look at some quality content.
But how do you sort?
Oh, I sort by new.
Okay.
That's the only way to go.
All right.
This one was just a random one that I saw that gave me a good laugh as soon as I scrolled through.
Yeah.
And so the name of the post is, "The fluke is the most common fish in the sea."
Okay.
And
oh my God. I hate this photo so much.
It is going to haunt my dreams, but I love the little cleavage.
This is like what you imagine is peeking over your bed at night.
Oh, for sure. So if you go...
that gives me an idea.
Oh, my gosh.
No, don't even do it.
If you go to the show notes...
I know your wife.
Beautiful. If you go to the show notes, there is a link that says Dundie Winner. If you click on that, you're going to see what we're looking at right now.
Yes. Go look.
This was posted by the user Tomalomus, I believe. And at the time that I found this, it only had 8 upvotes. Let me refresh. It's at 9 upvotes. So, so ladies and gentlemen, go upvote this post. But so it's like I said, the title is "The Fluke is the Most Common Fish in the Sea." It is a picture of the Mona Lisa with Kevin's face superimposed, and down at the bottom it says Kevin Malona Lisa.
Kevin Malona Lisa. Oh, I hate it.
Oh, I love that.
There's no comments. It's only got 9 upvotes.
This is very fresh.
You need to
Ladies and gentlemen, let's blow this post up because it is so dang good.
That's hilarious.
It will haunt your
Kevin
dreams.
Mona Lisa. I gotta print that.
Dreams.
Kevin
I gotta make a
Malona
poster
Lisa.
Kevin
for
Malona Lisa.
my buddy Caleb over here.
That's right.
No, that's gonna be a hard pass for me.
Oh my gosh! So Tomalomus is gonna get a Dundie, and all of us are gonna get nightmares. So enjoy, everybody. All right. So that brings us to the end of the episode. As always, guys, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Thanks for supporting the show. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast. And if you leave us that 5-star on iTunes, we really appreciate it. It helps out the show. We'll read it live on the air. Go tell a friend about the show. That is one of the most tangible ways to help out. And, of course, check us out at Patreon, patreon.com/anofficepod. $3 a month.
Yep.
That's all it takes. Gets
Cheap.
you. That's right. Access to the after party at Poor Richard's. And tonight we're talking about our own run-ins with the law. And ladies and gentlemen.
But I gotta say, if you are in law enforcement, you're not welcome.
Don't listen.
Yeah.
No.
Don't narc on us.
Save your 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of us, and by one of us I mean Andi Lambert,
Yeah.
might have committed a felony.
Well,
Is that what we're saying?
We'll go with the yes.
Oh my gosh! Go check it out.
You should plead the 5th, Andy.
That's right. You should delete this recording.
I am ashamed. Are you surprised?
Statute of limitations.
That's right.
Kevin Mona Lisa.
Oh my gosh, Kevin Malona
Lisa.
And as always, your homework for next week. Number 1, go hug a convict.
Yeah.
Aww.
Reformed criminal is what Jen.
And if you know one,
That's
what? I like you.
Then again, maybe don't. It could be dangerous.
Or,
we don't know.
I give free hugs.
There you go. Just use
tomato,
your best.
tomato.
You know, you're an adult. Use your best judgment.
Yeah,
if you're a child, don't listen. What are you doing listening to this?
Go find your mom and go to bed.
Right. And make sure you watch season 3, episode 10, Benihana Christmas.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be Christmas next week.
Another great episode.
It's Christmas, and we're going to celebrate.
Yep.
It's going to be that good stuff. And until next time, I'm Rob.
I'm Caleb.
And I'm Andi.
And this was
Everybody in the Conference Room.
All right, let's head over to Poor Richard's.
I got it.